good morning to everybody. I'm your host, Lorraine Nicole. I want to welcome you guys here for Sunday Vibes. I would just want to give first honor to God, and I just want to thank everybody in the audience for being here. Those of you who are live right now, thank you for being here this morning. We appreciate you. And so let's just snap it up for high vibrations up in here, y'all. Snap it up for high vibrations. We got our very first artist here. It's an honor to have you. This is a new venture for us. And you are Sacramento's legend who carries a lot of weight. And I know you've been gone. You've been, venturing out, doing your thing. So welcome back from LA.
Thank you.
How was your trip?
It was good. It was very, I can actually finally say, like, a lot of trips to LA, they can be a little discouraging, but this one is looking up towards the future. Okay. And so I'm really happy for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had some time for you too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So do you still produce all your work, or have you been collaborating with anybody, like any producers in the city?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to my own work, I'm always very exclusive with it. I'm always in the studio by myself with it. But, when certain instruments need to be played and I can't play them, I'll bring in a musician to come and play it, like a saxophone or a trumpet. But I also step back from my artistry and I produce for other artists. That's really where I got my start, was with that.
Okay.
So going back into that, it really helps me hone in on my own craft and really brush up against places that I haven't really been sharp in.
Right.
So.
All right. So do you feel like you got a lot of support from, the city, or?
I do, and I'm actually very grateful for the amount of support that I've received from Sacramento over the years. I think it's honorable to be even considered a legend in this city, and I definitely hold that with a lot of respect and regard. And hopefully the way that I continue that legacy is by pouring into the next generation of artists that come through here, because we have a very vibrant city when it comes to art and when it comes to music. And I really think that we're entering a golden age in our city when it comes to music. And I definitely think that it's imperative for people that have been on the scene and had some success to give pointers to the next generation so they can not trip up on on the journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been working on some new stuff. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I have an EP and an album coming out. The album's pretty much written. And so now I'm going through the process of mixing, mastering it. But I wanted to get an EP off of songs that didn't make it beforehand, so the album reaches more ears. Because I feel like the messages are very important, and I don't want anybody in our country to miss that.
Right.
So, I have to kind of go the mainstream market route and be like, okay, this is the bait now.
Right.
Let me show you what the fuck I'm really
Right.
about. Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a new lady in your life.
I wouldn't say new.
Okay.
We've been together for 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That ain't new. So how did you guys meet, or you want to share how the relationship goes? Does she support your music?
She's the most supportive partner I could ever ask for. Taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about relationships. She's been practically at every show, every event. She's helped me in ways that I'm just very grateful.
So you got you a good one, in other words.
Yeah. All relationships require work, you know what I mean?
That's good.
So work on self, and I think it's only through relationships I feel that we get to really know ourselves. And we really get to know our boundaries. We really get to know how to coexist, not only on a personal level, but on a societal level with other people.
Right.
And so just learning about that ebb and flow, learning about a person's autonomy and respecting that, it's just a lot of deep processes.
Right.
A lot of introspection, a lot of growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So tell me about an artist or somebody that you look up to, or somebody that you feel your style is like, or that you would, you appreciate in the industry? Anybody come to mind?
Right now, I'm actually really into to Kendrick Lamar, Rhapsody. I'm really into J. Cole. I'm really it's a lot of people from hip hop that I feel are really pressing the innovation right now. But usually I'm a very old school guy. I listen to music from the 70s and the 80s and the 60s mainly. And, Stevie Wonder is my favorite artist. I listen to a lot of Hendrix.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really where, and Prince, and that's really where, like, my true soul and heart lie is within that era of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice area to
Yeah.
target. So some of your favorite songs on your album, like, what would you say are the ones that hold dear to your heart that you really like? Like, this shit is dope. I don't know where this came from. Like, everybody need to like this song. Like, what's that one?
For me, I think on the album that I released, like the most recent one, the self-titled The Philharmonic, I have Dope Man and then I have Pay Me, which I feel like are very pinnacle to where my soul and heart lie when it comes to creating music. In this new record, I have a lot of songs that really expand on the essence of those two, really goes deeper into the funk and soul. And like I could name about 5 of those. One of them, Watch Me. Another one would be Pursuit of Happiness, which is actually already
I
released.
like that one. That's a dope one.
Thank you. Which Side You're On is another one. Power is another one. Like there are many of them on this record that I feel like I really wanted to bring back the essence of the 70s, but have my own touch to it, so it's original.
Right. Yeah, and you do that shit good. So
Thank you.
I mean, I had a chance to listen to some of your music, and I'm like, super dope artist. Like, I think if you guys have not heard from this dude, the Philharmonic, like you need to go follow him. You need to listen to his music. Dope artist. How can we hear about you? What's your platforms? Where you got your music at, so people just kind of tune into you.
So I'm always on social media. Main ones are Instagram, Facebook. You probably don't want to do because I talk a lot of trash on there. Twitter, I talk trash on there too. You ain't gonna hear much of music. But if you want to get to know me as a human being as much as you like to know me as an artist, then I would like you to have the whole repertoire of the social media monster that I truly am deep down. So I don't have a TikTok.
You said social media monster.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. TikTok, right. I don't have. I'm actually I'm very old school millennial kind of in that way where I'm like I'm not really up with the new. I'm gonna just stick to the main three, the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the most part. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say your mindset is when you're writing some of your latest music that you wrote? Just like, where do you go to when you're like thinking of your songs? Like, what's your program? Like, what can you tell like an artist that's coming up that's trying to get that Philharmonic vibe to be creative, tap into their creative side?
Tapping into the creative side is as much experiencing and listening to music and experiencing life as much as it is saying to myself, this is what I want to hear. So it's like, it's really about, damn, this really inspired me. I want to hear something like this today.
Right.
And then nobody else is doing it, so I'm like, okay, fine, I got to do it myself. It's really just to fill a void of what you want to hear. And I think with every artist, I think we go through that of, I just want to hear this. What would this sound like if this went in the direction, It's really about going with the flow of self, and, really holding a healthy space for that.
Right, that's important. Healthy space is important.
Because that's really, creativity is only just an expression of who you are.
Right.
And so, whatever you want to hear, do your best to create it in the way that you see fit.
Right.
Nothing's new under the sun.
Right.
There's so much music going around. Of course, there's going to be music that sounds alike, but
Yeah, it's a lot of music that sounds alike.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate about you is that you have like your own sound. Like you're not gonna find anybody that has the same sound as the Philharmonic. Okay, so that brings me to my next question. How did your name come about? Like, what inspired you to be who you are?
It actually wasn't my first name. My first name was actually terrible. It's called J Drastic, which was terrible. Yeah. I was like, there's no way you're going to blow up with that name. That shit's weak. I look back at myself and I'm like, I love you, little guy, but we going to have to do something about this. And so the Philharmonic, the dictionary term, which I actually recently found out, probably within the last year, means devoted to music. And I think that my life is a testament to that. For sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, nice.
But it originally came from me in high school when I was in the orchestra. I first started out on the piano, and then during middle school and high school, I was in orchestra. And I was first chair, concert headmaster in that, so I know how to play it. Sometimes I play it on my instruments. But as I grew older, that instrumentation that I really grew in became a pinnacle for music production. So I started to do everything from mixing to the writing to everything. I was like, nobody else is gonna touch my music except me.
Yeah.
And so the Philharmonic is really, it's not a play on Phil or like the name Philip because my name's Christian. It really, it means one-man orchestra. That's what I meant about it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the history behind that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. That's dope. All right, like I said, this is and I know I asked you to just give us your where we can find you on your platform, but you got to spell that shit out for them, like so they can find out where
I do this at every show, so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice.
Right. So you Instagram, Twitter, so you all over. So can you give them your Instagram, label, so they can hear, they can know where to go to follow this guy.
It's THE like the and then Philharmonic PHILHARMONIK. So it's like your city orchestra, but the C is a K at the end, and there's no city. That part is pretty important, yeah.
Y'all got that? All right. So let me ask you a weird question. I know that you probably tap into your childlike side sometimes, every now and then. What's your favorite childhood movie? What would you say?
There are like a couple that come to mind because there's one during my younger years, and then there's one during my music years when in high school. That movie honestly was Amadeus, which is a movie about Mozart. It was made in 1988. It's one of the best movies, critically acclaimed, ever made.
Back to music.
Yeah, exactly. But as a younger kid, because I was a baseball kid, I was really good at baseball until about 13. And I love the sport. And so my favorite movie was Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah, it is a classic. I still watch it from time to time. Yeah.
Okay. All right, nice. All right, so y'all got any questions? We're going to open up for questions and answers with the audience. Y'all got any questions for the guy right here, the Philharmonic? Questions?
How many instruments do you play?
5. I play piano, guitar, bass, trumpet, violin, actually 6, viola. And those are like my span for right now.
I got a question. How about Sway? I want to know how you linked up with him.
Yo, that's a crazy story. So in this town, we have I like to call them guardian angels of the city, Soul Collective. They really put on for the artist scene here, and they really are integral to the upcoming artist in the city. And I was years of 2017 to 2019. 2017, I didn't know what I was doing, but the next year, I took I really said, okay, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna make sure I do something. And so I made sure I was going around networking, and then I figured out that Sway actually has a show at South by, and it's on the Thursday and Friday of that week, of the music week, and somebody told me about it, and he was like, bro, I really rock with your music. You absolutely need to go to this. So, I only got 2 hours of sleep that night, woke my ass up at like 4 a.m., and then I went to go get in the line, because usually there's a long line and only a certain amount of artists can get in, so I wanted to make sure that I was one of the first artists that got in. So it was an early bird get the worm situation. And so I go at like 5 a.m. and I'm like the fifth in line. And so I wait there for about like 3 hours. We walk into the venue and they sign me up on this sheet, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe 8, 10 in line. Yeah. And so everybody's up there rapping, and then I go in and rap, and people were really rocking with it. And after that was just an amazing experience for me, because I was like, there are times when, as an artist, where I'm on stage and I'm nervous, but there is no other time in my entire art. It was like, when I got that acceptance from that crowd, that respect from that crowd, and from Sway, and from Tracy G, and from Heather B, I was like, yo. I made sure I stayed for the 4 hours after everybody did their verses, and because I needed to meet these people and connect. Yeah. And I'm really happy I did, because then that's when they invited me to New York. And they were like, bro, whenever you in New York, come out here. And so I came out, that was in March. In July, I went out to New York, and then I did the Sway show on the actual Sway show. Nice. That was scary. And then after that, they liked that so much, they put me on the Doomsday Cypher at the end of the year. So it was like 3 times in the year I was on Sway. And I got to be at the final one, which actually the final one was a very big inspiration for drugs, but that's another story.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll hear that one later.
Yeah.
All right, so you still stay in contact with them?
Yeah.
That's good. That's dope. Build relationships, y'all. It's important. All right, so, yeah, you got another question here?
What's a good, like, esoteric occult book, one of your favorites that you would recommend someone to read for, like, expanding their mind and shit?
The Kabbaleon's really good. I really like that book. Detailed perspective of what karma is in both the spiritual and the physics realm. So the Kabbaleon for me it's heavy, but if you read it and you understand it, it'll give you a lot of nice little treats about what this existence is.
Right.
Yeah, man.
We got any more questions? Yeah.
Other than how you mentioned drugs with the soul cipher, how that inspired that. Where do you usually draw inspiration from when it comes to your music?
From being broke, from struggle, sometimes from happiness, from love. It's really I think before, and then the worst thing you can ever do, I feel like, is tap into creating music from a place of drugs, which I did for a while. Which is not, and I'm not talking about the song, I'm literally talking about, I had a 2-year Adderall addiction. And so getting back to the original emotions, it's kind of like a hard question, because I feel so separated from my emotion at the moment, because I spent so long on a substance finding that creativity, and now I have to go in and remind myself these came from real experiences, real feelings. It's really coming from allowing yourself to process the feelings, both good, both exciting and bad and sad, and actually writing about it. It's no different than a journal. It's like you take, some people's journal only exists into writing in journals. And I forgot about that for a time, where I wanted to have a different perspective and have this mentality that I wanted to be the best ever to do it. And so the only way I felt like that was on Adderall, and I lost touch with it. But originally, it really comes from allowing yourself to feel those processes in your life and tell your story and not be ashamed of that. That's really the deepest part. And go fuck about how others are going to perceive it.
Right, that's key.
That's
key.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's the deepest part I can give you for it.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Let's snap it up. Sunday vibes. Snap it up for Sunday vibes, y'all. Yeah, dope. So, any other questions? All right, so we're not gonna hold y'all. We want this masterpiece right here to perform for us and give us some dope. We're gonna go ahead with that, and yeah, let's transition.
All right. Cool.
So we're doing the countdown. Well, yes, we're doing the countdown. You better watch out for that. You better watch out for that. You better watch out for that. What will it take for me to be a star? You'll give me what I want as long as I play the part. But I'm way too smart for that. I can see through the front end, but you try to act like you're something, but it really all means nothing. I know this might sound funny, but you can go and take your money, and please stay the hell away from me. You better watch out for the neon lights. Keep my lights on the outside, but it'll end your life. Whatever you have to offer, it better not demean my honor, so you can divide and conquer. Then maybe I won't even bother to let you leave my soul to slaughter, 'cause I'll just come back stronger. Don't those bright lights really entice those beautiful eyes? From the outside, you really seems nice, but our devils in disguise. You better watch out for the neon lights. Yeah, my lights from the outside, but it'll let your light. You better watch out for the neon light. You better watch out for the neon light. You better watch out for the neon. Find the neon light. It might look like from the outside, but it'll end your life. You better watch out for the neon light. It might look nice from the outside, but it'll end your life.
What was your name again? What was your name again?
Oh shit. Yeah, that was hard. My name is what? No. The Philharmonic. Is that supposed to go for the I don't know, let's make this not as awkward as it needs to be. Hell yeah. From the valley of the shadow of death. That this and I promise that you'll never run out of breath. Live your life. Sometimes I know it's hard to respect. It's when we hurt, that's the moment that we all wanna flex. I confess that as humans can be really complex. We flex our egos and we wanna call it art and elect. We show emotion and we think they're gonna think of us less. But you blessed, you should never ever think that you less. Cause in the end we always our biggest enemy. But it's always against each other that we compete. 9 times out of 10 is how it tends to be. Though this observation can be really hard to see. But if there's one thing that I hope you never fail to notice, is that our music's still beautiful though the record's broken. If all we want in life is unconditional love, then what we want is what we have to become, and that's love. If I told you how to color shoes, that's some rock from the life that's inside of you. Maybe then I hope you recognize that true beauty always comes from inside. Don't you know I get to look at God every time I look into your eyes? Then I'm sure you recognize that your beauty comes from within. Yo, if I told you about the beauty that I saw from within, would you for once let me shower you with some compliments or observations more or less so I can help you forget for a second from the demons that you fight in your head? But what was said to make you look upon yourself and regret is of the torment of the words that make you think that you less. If I can, let me give you something else to reflect, so you'll never have to guess that if you're worth it again. So let me take your pain that you afraid to display and get them shackles off your feet so maybe then we can dance. Cause you're like my Mona Lisa that Da Vinci would paint. When I spring forward, you fell back and that's when the seasons change. But even then, I could never look upon you with hate. Even though we had to break, I know we'll both be okay. So don't you ever think that forwards it's way too late. At the end of the day, we grow better when we separate. But if there's one thing that I'm hoping that you'll find, that if it's yours, you should never have to fight. Cause you deserve all the air, colors, and light. So let those be the only words up in your mind. And if there's one thing that I hope you never fail to notice, is that our music's still beautiful though the record's broken. If all we want in life is unconditional love, then what we want is what we have to become, and that's love. If I told you how to color suit, that's some rap in the life that's inside of you. Maybe then I hope you recognize that true beauty always comes from inside. Don't you know I get to look at God every time I look into your eyes? Then I'm sure you recognize that your beauty comes from within. If I could go back to the moments that I felt in nostalgia as a kid before the pains of life began to be foggy, to the moments that I cherish in my heart that are guarded, to keep me on my path, even the points of the hardest as time will pass. I grew older and lovers would come and go. I relied on other people to fill the void in my soul, to be a high amongst my lows. That's when I lost my home. To the point that they believe I ended up hurting more. Though at the time, my life really began to get messy, but that's the moment that I got to learn a valuable lesson. The worst thing that I'm feeling when I'm feeling most empty is that I cannot tell the difference between love and acceptance. That's the reason why the people get addicted to drugs, to escape the pain of life so we live fast and die young, to avoid our problems we can never seem to run from. How can time heal any wounds if we can't get to confront? That's why in life, we gotta be our own leaders, cause we as hurting people always hurt other people. It's not because we evil or even because we mean to, it's cause we broken and you need me just like I need you. So if there's one thing that I hope you never fail to notice, is that our music's still beautiful though the record's broken. If all we want in life is unconditional love, then what we want is what we have to become, and that's love. If all we want in life is unconditional love, then what we want is what we have to become. If all we want in life is unconditional love, then what we want is what we have to become. Cause all I want in life is unconditional love, so what I want is what I'm gonna become. If all I want in life is unconditional love, then what I want is what I'm gonna become, and that's love. Philip. Yeah.
There's days that I just wanna make it, but all that shit seems overrated. My mama told me never listen to the shit you see on television. I just want it all, can I get it all on the low? Like I already don't have enough, please. This shit is getting out of control. I don't know who I am anymore, please. I never wanna have to worry. Can't you see that I'm in a hurry, please? Cause I can't take this shit anymore. Why do we want what we can't have? The things that we lack are the things we want bad. And we get what we have, and we treat it like trash, like we don't give a damn. I swear this world is going mad. Now I'm a conflicted ass motherfucker. Get one thing and move on to the next one. Learn that lesson and forget the message. Make that next level, then want something better. After I reach that, I enjoy the season. See a new thing like, hey, nice to meet you. Find me in it like, yeah, you was a keeper. Never get the reason like, I don't need you. I can't stand when I look in the mirror, cause I always see two people when I make an appearance. Like, what the fuck are you and who the hell did you bring me? Like, the demons in the mirror don't be calling my finger. Man, goddamn, I'm not that selfish shit I wanna do more than sell rock like Elvis. I'm just trying to find my place of contentment. There's an answer, but y'all please tell me. Well, we can't have the things that we lack are the things we want bad. And we get what we have, and we treat it like trash, like we don't give a damn. I swear this world is going mad. Hold up. Why we gotta work for the man that always sees us suffer, but he don't give a damn? Always acts as our friend when we do what he said, but won't give us a fucking deal of 40 acres of land. Now ain't that what we need to succeed? Or do I have to acquire everything that I please? Or focus most of my life on some shit I don't need? Or act like the cash ruling everything around me? Now listen, can't you tell that we don't fit it? Do the math, we don't add, we ain't never coefficient. See them, that tell us sky's the limit. They see us rise above, but we way too proud to admit it. All we really seeking for is peace in the street. Until we get it, we be screaming, fuck the police. And you're gonna realize that you should've believed, but then it would be too late to see. What we can't have, the things that we lack, are the things we want bad. And we get what we have, and we treat it like trash, like we don't give a damn. I swear this world is going mad. This world is going mad. Yeah? Great guy. Word.
Felt that shit in my soul, bro. In my loins.
This one's for your employers.
This one.
Yeah. I know. Oh, this motherfucker. Yes. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you know. Tag team. Yeah, it's like when you push it, less resistance. I play the chords for the people that know the song.
I'm sorry. You got Tito? That lifted. That's that shit, boy.
Y'all know about that.
Yeah, that's a little loud.
How we feeling, guys?
How you
Good?
feeling?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Good, good. I'm
Snap
glad.
it up for Sunday vibes one time.
Sunday
Yeah.
vibes, yes. Y'all feeling vibey now?
I'm living another day. I can do that working on the minimum wage. When the people at the top take the whole everything to devour. It's as soon as I ask if I give you $50 an hour. If it is, then fuck you, pay me. I ain't doing any more work until you give me what I deserve. But first things first, man, fuck you, pay me. Until you pay me what I'm worth, I ain't doing any more work until you give me what I deserve. And no one man should ever have all that power. But most of us at the bottom only got empty dreams in the dollar. Cause I'll be damned if I once again use my head to work for the man who got all the supply, but he always feels to be not a man. Cause I don't wanna struggle no more with some bills that I can't afford, or pay a tax for some dumbass war when there's nothing to be fired for. I got enough shit to deal with at home, I can't help but keep my enemies close. So you better not get up your hopes, cause right now I'ma let you know, man, fuck you, pay me. I ain't doing any more work until you give me what I deserve. But first things first, man, fuck you, pay me. Until you pay me what I'm worth, I ain't doing any more work until you give me what I deserve. I ain't doing any more labor, so don't you ask me for any more favors. I ain't doing any more work till you give me my paper. Give it up, cause I ain't gonna wait until later. Man, fuck you, bang me. I ain't doing any more work till you give me what I deserve. First things first, man, fuck you, bang me. Until you pay me what I'm worth, I ain't doing any more work till you give me what I deserve. Fuck you, bang me. Fuck you, bang me. Man, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Better pay up, pay up, pay up, pay up, pay up. That was enough for those words.
Yo, I seen her face. She was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh, my bad, my bad. She gonna go to school and be like, guess what my parents did?
Hey,
Guess what I learned? She's like, you can't say that until you're 8.
It's all about balance of, I'm not a parent, but if I had a kid, it would be about protecting them from the real world and then showing them the real world.
Yeah.
And just knowing what time that is. That's really where the debate is. It's not really like what time, it's when to hide it and when not to.
Yeah.
At least that's coming from my perspective. I only parent my inner child and I'm doing a good job right now. So, if y'all want to sing along with us, you can. my rent. I'm losing my will to live. Once I hit age 26, I'm off of my mom's coverage. When she said I need a real job, I probably should have listened. Finances taking a hit. I should go back to college. Rack up 6 figures in debt for a job I might not even get. What's even the point of degrees if I'ma end up on the streets or working for Mickey D's? That's that bullshit I don't need. The other option on my mind is not one that I usually try. But for the first time in my life, I think I might sell drugs. La la, 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 la la. School never mattered, but I'm really needing that fast food. I better hope the money stacks up, or my landlord will tell me to back up. It's true that nobody gives a fuck unless it results in their surplus. That make you want to sell po up or make you grow old without growing up. Now if the job market seemed to fail, I still kill in black market retail. At least then the bread would never stale. Some of the people that never cared ever grew up on our plateaus, but instead I became a rapper. In my 20s so I could just have fun, but now I only be lacking funds. So now regret is on my mind. The things I probably shouldn't try. But for the first time in my life, I think I might sell drugs. La la, la la. I need you to keep singing. La 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 la. Might sell drugs. La la. For the first time in my life, I think I might sell drugs again. La la, 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 la la. Yeah, I heard that kid sing. Oh man, we some role models. This one's for you. The honest truth about adulthood is that it's full of empty promises. I guess if you look at the positive, you'll figure out everyone's winging it. High school reunion is coming up. I'm mad I don't even have time to stunt on the people that didn't believe in me. And 3 is coming, I swear. None of it matters, the more you know. Most of it's coming from broken homes. With the traumas that you wouldn't know. The things that you think when you're really broke. That's the reason I don't villainize people committing nonviolent crimes so they can afford to live their life and sleep under roofs on stormy nights. Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Who are you to I might have to get Eddie Murphy to do Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood Part 2 with that one. Y'all ever watch that? That does conclude my set.
Yes.
Thank y'all. Even though it's unprofessional, I'm making sure I keep in time with my next show that I'm doing in SF today. A little So Far Sounds.
Oh, nice.
We have them back in this city, so if you guys want to see dope local talent that you haven't heard of, So Far is the way to do it. So I love that. It gets $100 in my pocket when I have nothing. So
Nice.
and I don't have to do anything. New set of crowd every time. Well, probably not here because we all know each other, but that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. That means our scene is vibrant. That's what that means. But yeah, thank y'all for coming out. I hope that this was an enjoyable experience for y'all.
Yes.
And yeah.
So
Cool.
all that
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, you did great.
Thank you.
Phenomenal back